Thanks for attending this session. Thanks for being a part of this session. Uh, this session will be recorded. We will upload it on YouTube so that a lot of people get the essence of this session. We may divide this session into two parts. One part is what I want to speak about. We'll have some very deep human-to-human conversations. We'll also sit down and touch upon points which not only affect all of us, but we will also talk about things which generally don't get spoken about. So for all the people who are a part of masterclasses, you guys know that I end up masterclasses and game changers. I speak about things which are politically not very in a good space, but I do want to speak about it because if we don't, then nobody else is going to speak about it. And those conversations open up people's minds. So the whole idea and the thing is that we throw about concepts, we throw about ideas, we throw about points, we throw about different things going on. And while we do that, we try to explore in our own lives as to what is the things that we want to take in our lives, what are the things that we don't want to keep in our lives, how do we change our own life, how do you make our life better. And making our life better always starts with upgrading your software, which is your thinking. So the easiest way to change your life is to upgrade your software. The software runs inside your head, is your thoughts, your biases, your attitudes, your behaviors, your outlook in life. You upgrade your software and suddenly everything reflects that and changes in life. How many of you guys so far have experienced this? And especially this would be true for people who are attending Game Changers and Masterclasses. So Game Changer has been going on for last 6 years, Masterclasses for 7 years or more. And there have been people who have completely changed the way where they have ended up in their life for whatever reasons. So I thought, let me just kind of put that out for people. So that's one part. Now, the first lesson for today, and more importantly, is don't be late in life. So as I see, there are people who are joining in as we have a conversation. If you miss the first 2 minutes, then you will scratch your head for the rest of the time to figure out what exactly happened. So the first and the easiest mantra of life to become successful, not from a monetary point of view, which generally becomes successful, is not to be late. And you don't require special talent. You don't require special, you don't need to go to a special school for it. Maybe you need to attend some of my master classes to learn that, which you should have learned anyway, but it has not been taught. So in our school and in our colleges or in our office, we are taught not to be late with the intention that if you do that, then you are going to be penalized. And that's a wrong way of going about doing things in life. And that's a wrong way of learning something in life. Because on the other hand, if you move away from that conversation to this conversation, saying what are the benefits to you personally, or being on time or before time, then all of a sudden you will look at life in a very different manner, and you will start seeing opportunities in your life. And having to see opportunities in life is the biggest gift we all can have in our life. So if you move saying you're going to get into trouble because you're late, to look, if you come on time or before time, and if you are, being there, then there are 10 things which you can do a lot more faster, a lot more quicker. You can achieve more in your life. And all of a sudden, everything kind of changes in our life. So this is one point in our life. So if you want to take it down, and you should, is if you still cannot be on time, at least know that not being on time is costing you something. There's a cost to be paid by you for not being on time. There's a very old saying that quarter past, you have to be 15 minutes before. So there is one very successful person, I don't remember the name, who said that the success of my life is that I have always been 15 minutes before time. That's one. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two. And that number one, you do not require skills. You do not require higher education. You don't require anything. You just require the right mindset. Saying that if I am early and before time, then it's an advantage. The only people who are not on time are the ones who are very expensive or very cheap in life. Okay, what does that mean? Simply means that the people who do not value time are the ones who are usually late, or the people whose time is very, very valuable are also late because others have to wait for them. So either you are falling into a category where other people wait for you, or you are falling into a category where you have to wait for other people. If you are in the first category where other people have to wait for you, you're still okay. But that still does not make sense to make other people wait. But if you're in the second category, then you have something to think about. So ask yourself this question. Am I in a position today to be that person? To make other people wait, or I have to wait for other people? And if I have to wait for other people and then you are late, then you have lost your opportunity. I can tell you that. I've grown up with when I used to have a tuition teacher way back in 8th standard. And he used to have a timing of 8 to 9. And he was not a great teacher per se. Actually, I don't remember much about him. But when he used to be at my house at 8, or whenever he used to come, I could clock my time saying he's at 8. And he used to leave at 9, so not 1 second more. That also reminds me to teach you this, that always do more than what is expected out of you in life, and then for what you get paid in life. So always do more than what you get paid for. You should always be in a credit, meaning to say that if somebody is interacting with you, make sure that the flow of energy or benefit always moves from your side to the other side. And if you do that, and this is something which I've believed it, and this is the basic core principle on which IMS has grown. We've grown from one student 12 years back to God knows how many now, completely viral and organic without asking people to join our programs. By just giving more than what you get in return. So that's point number 2. How many of you guys agree with this? So I always tell my children, do more, give more. In fact, many a times when people ask me to make a payment, and I always pay them more. Always. This was just a story. Last week, somebody by error transferred some money into my account. I was not supposed to get it. He was supposed to transfer somewhere else, but he transferred it to me. I told him, don't worry about it. And when I returned him the money, so he didn't owe me anything, I didn't owe him anything, nothing. I ended up paying him 200 rupees or 150 rupees extra. And I said, that's a gift from me to you just for interacting with me. And I said, keep it. And then he said, no, sir, you paid me 150 rupees extra, I'm going to transfer it back into your account. It's not needed. Yeah. So always pay more, because money is just a medium, right? And you give more, believe me, you get more. And somebody who understands this will never run behind money. And money anyway is nothing to be running behind about. Point number 3. You need to be ready in life. if you are not ready in life for anything, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, you have lost that opportunity. For a simple reason that if you are not ready, there are thousands of the people who are ready for it. And we all are, in one way or the other, hunters for opportunity. And if you are not, then there's a big problem in your life, because you need to be. If you ask me, how should you lead your life? And that's the way you have to lead your life, is you have to be a hunter. You have to be on a hunt. Constantly, always. You have to be a hunter for opportunities. What kind of opportunities? Every kind of opportunities. Opportunity to better yourself, opportunity to increase your wealth, opportunity to increase your intelligence, opportunity to increase your wisdom, opportunity to increase your experience, opportunity, all sort of opportunities. Because finally, you are going to be as happy as the opportunities that you get in your life. And opportunities translate into options. The more opportunities you have, the more options that you have, the more options that you have, the happier you are going to be in your life. How many of you guys have experienced this? Am I speaking to anyone here? Is anybody being able to relate to the conversation I'm having with you today? Or it's all under the bridge? Right? So we need to be a hunter for opportunities. And if you do not get up in the morning, and if you do not say, I'm just going to hunt for opportunities, because opportunity might walk in front of you, but if you are not ready, you can't take it, and somebody else. And the moment you talk about opportunity, that is where luck comes in. So if you're ready for the opportunity, you're there on time. Think about it. I will just sit down and connect the dots. You're on time. You're ready for the opportunity. Guess what happens? You get lucky. And if you continue to get lucky in your life, guess what happens? You become an extremely lucky person. And when you continue to be an extremely lucky person in your life, guess what happens? You're successful. So if you want to be successful in your life, you need to, 1, start with being on time. 2, you need to be ready in life. And 3, you need to hunt opportunities. And if you are able to do these 3 things successfully again and again, then guess what? You will just get things in your life. You just keep getting things in your life. So if you want to get things in your life, you need to be ready to accept those things which you're supposed to get in your life. Otherwise, you won't. So if all the people who say that, sir, I'm not lucky in your life, if you're not lucky in your life, either you have not been on time, you have not been ready mentally, emotionally, or there is something that you don't know yet. So your misfortune in your life or lack of success is always going to be attributed to what you don't know in your life. It is not more about what you know in your life, but what you don't know in your life. And coming to that point of what you don't know in your life, I can tell you, and this is my personal philosophy again, and just last night I was sitting down and thinking about it, that as I learn more in my life, I massively realize how less I knew earlier in my life and how wrong I was in my life. And this is last night, so I was sitting down and having a couple of drinks with my friends, and when I'm sitting down and drinking and I'm in my zone, and I keep on getting these ideas and thoughts, And I was sitting down and thinking that the more I learn, the more I know, how less I know in my life, and how wrong I was. So if any of you guys ever have this thought process, thinking that, you know what, I'm never wrong. And the moment you have that thought, or you are from that point that I'm never wrong. I know people who always say they're never wrong. Then it's a massive red flag. Why? Because it's not like you were born with all the knowledge. Every knowledge in the world till now is inside you. It's not like that. There's a lot of things. There are higher chances that there is more things that we don't know in life than there are things that we know in life. You guys can hear me. Is this making sense to you guys? Let me repeat it. There are higher chances of a lot of things that we don't know in our life than the chances that we know in our life. Which basically means in the entire universe, probably this is the amount of knowledge that we have. Which means if you take a possibility or if you take a probability, there are more than chances that you are going to be wrong in your life. And if you start your life saying that I'm going to be wrong, it's okay. I've been wrong in my life, all my life. And I'm going to be wrong in my life for the next 100 years that I'm going to live. Then I'm on track. Because if I know everything and if I'm always right, then it only means that I'm ignorant about my fallacies of life. So the moment you say that I'm always right or I'm right, it only simply means that I'm ignorant about the fallacies in my life. Because most of the time than not, you will be wrong. And that is why most of you guys are from IMS, you guys must realize that our system is designed in such a manner that we are okay to be wrong and we take that and we do not predict anything. Am I right? Now, does this make sense? How this whole thing builds up? So it all starts with the stock market always starts with a philosophy, and stock market always starts with a direction and the way it works. So if you are going to come from the point of view that one way is the only way, you are already in trouble. If you say that this is the only way and everything else is wrong, then it's a massive. So basically then, today onwards, you have to start feeling very happy. The moment you realize that you are wrong, how do you feel? How does that feel? So the moment you know you are wrong, you realize that you should be very happy, because the moment you do that, it's human and we don't know. And we are on the right track. Because we accept that there are a whole lot of things that we don't know. And then when we accept that there are a whole lot of things that we don't know, then we have an opportunity to learn those things. And the moment we have that opportunity to learn those things, then what happens? You get onto the right track. And the moment you get into the right track, then what happens? You get onto the right track. You do more right things in life. You do less of wrong things in life. And suddenly we end up becoming lucky in our life. So ask yourself this question: where all have you been wrong? And if you are wrong, then you should say, hey, this is so awesome, man. Because I'm wrong. And now I can correct myself. And the moment I correct myself, the rest of my life I'm going to be right. And that is a game changer in life. So that's the one point I wanted to talk to you about. And one of the easiest way for us to figure out whether we are right or wrong in our life generally comes from a point of whom we associate ourselves with. So the easiest way for you to become successful and to go higher up in your life is to be around people who have deep intellectual conversations, or to be around people who talk something intellectual. It can be fun, so you don't have to be boring. You don't have to be sitting down and listening to a masterclass like this. But people with deep wisdom, people with deep thought processes can be very, very funny. You could have fun with them. They would pass you one sentence. One sentence. And that one sentence could change your life. Like last night I was sitting down with my friend and he said something which I didn't know till I met him after 23 years, 24 years. I was with him 25 years back and I met him 23 years later. And he said one thing. I said, this is what happened in college. And I'm like, really? Is that what happened? Very interesting. It was a good moment for me. I was very happy to hear that. But I never saw that thing the way he put it across to me. And I was completely blind to it. Which gets me back to the point that for you to be proved right or wrong, find people. And that has to be a constant chase. It has to be a constant struggle to spend more time with the right people, to spend time with the right people, to spend more time with the right people, to have more deeper conversations with yourself and other people, where you have a very strong chance that you would be proved wrong, and have a very strong chance where somebody shows you an opportunity and shows you things which you did not know about you earlier. And all of a sudden, you feel refreshed, you feel relaxed, you suddenly realize, oh wow, I didn't know this. And thank God I went for a drink with this guy. Thank God we had this conversation. Thank God we met. So when you are meeting people, make sure you're not meeting people who will drain you out. Make sure you don't meet up with people who suck your energy, because we have a very limited amount of energy. We either can take that energy and move ourselves higher in life or take us lower in life. So don't meet up with people who will down your energy, because it does not help. And be around with the people and be around in the right forum with the people, right? Where you have meaningful conversations. And all of a sudden you'll realize that things just gotta change. And it just takes one tiny sentence. And suddenly your perspective about life just kind of changes. Is this making sense? Am I making sense here? Or it's too much for a Sunday morning? So, and I can tell you this with experience, and I tell this to my children all the time. Your primary objective then is to find a group of people. When I say group of people, it could be 2, 3, 4. It could be you and somebody else. That is a group. 3, you and 2 other people is group, or whoever. You meet with people, you have conversations. You don't have to physically meet. You could be meeting them on the phone. You could be meeting them on text. But get to that and hunt for those people and hunt for that forum. So let's say you're going and meeting somebody in a marriage. Obviously, you can't have a conversation and then that opportunity is lost. But if you are going out and meeting people and say, listen, I want to sit down and catch up with you. Let's have a drink. That could be a life changer. So hunt for people. And I can tell you this enough. I'll give you an example. I had a friend of mine who was in my college. He joined a company called Castrol. So he joined the company called Castrol as a management trainee. And the first job that he got, was he got an opportunity either to head a region or to become a PA, personal assistant of executive director of that company. You have 2 choices. One, to become head a region and head a channel, or to become an executive assistant of the chairman, managing director of that company. I don't know, it's a very high post. I think he was heading India, and then he was supporting India or Southeast Asia. 20 years down the line, or 10 years down the line, he ended up heading Indonesia himself. Okay? On any given day. Now, if you see from a conversation saying, you're an MBA, you're among the top 5-10 people in the campus. Why are you becoming an executive assistant to the CMD? Because what you are going to absorb just being around a CMD in 6 months, maybe you might get an opportunity to absorb that in 20 years of your life. Maybe. Okay? Today he himself is executive director on the board. I used to head a country and stuff like that. So, a proximity to the right people in the right forum, having the right conversations is so powerful. You guys have no idea. And the day you guys realize this, suddenly you will realize that, my God, I've been so wrong. That being said, that I'm going to give you another conversation and another story. This happened about a month back or month and a half back. So anyway, before that, let's talk about success. And so we always talk about success. We always want to get successful. We always want to be, the whole idea is that we hunt for opportunities so that we become success. And very often people feel that success means that you make a lot of money, you have a big designation, you work for a large company, you have a big car, you have a big house, you have a lot of money, everybody's happy. That's not success according to me. Success, according to me, or according to a lot of people in this world, is being able to do exactly what you intended to do in your life. I'll give you an example. Success, according to you, is able to do, having the freedom and is able to do whatever you wanted to do in your life. To give you an example. Let's say, and I'll give you another example from my office, from my colleague who was in my college. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2015. So this guy used to be, when he was in college, he used to play guitar and drums and everything. And there used to be a band called Agni, if you guys are old timers, called Agni way back from Pune. So he used to do opening for Agni as a guitarist. Okay, that's the level he was. And he came into my MBA college, and then obviously, and we kept on telling him, I said, you're so good with whatever you're doing in your life. Please don't come into the corporate world and waste your time. You will completely waste yourself being in the corporate world. And in fact, we were speaking about him yesterday also. And he sat down and thought that, no, but this is what I should be doing. This is what I should be doing in my life. And I said, no, you should be sitting down and playing guitar and making money or doing whatever you want. Because when he was to be on the stage, he used to come alive. And then 10, 12 years he wasted working for corporates and things like that. And finally, he didn't live too much. Okay. So according to me, success, let's say tomorrow, if you are working in the corporate world and he was being a CEO of a company, from my point of view, that's not success. If you are a guitarist and you like to play guitar, and that makes you happy and alive, and if that is what you truly want, then according to me, that is success. How many of you guys agree with this? You agree with this, type X. You don't agree with this, type Y, please. If you agree with this, type X. If you don't agree with me, type Y. Come on, guys, participate. If you don't participate, it's just going to be a monologue. It'll bore you, it'll bore me. And most of the students know this. The more interactive it is, the more I get into the color, the more I get into the color, the more you get out of me. So, if that is what you want to do, so success is the ability to do what exactly that you aspire to do in your life. Now, when I said that, you have to be sensible here. Okay, you know, this is a tool, it's not for everybody. And there will be some people say, I just want to sit down and have a drink, like in Goa, I want to sit down and have a beer and lie around and do nothing in life. Okay, if that's your success, well, there you are successful. But you're not very successful in life then. You're successful, but not very successful. So you need to figure it out. Yeah. If you have your shack, you open your shack, you make your shack bigger, then you drink the whole day and lie around, well, there you go. You're successful. But be a little bit, this has to be supported by a little bit of wisdom. I'll tell you another story and I'll tell you what success is. And, you know, fortunately for me, I was surrounded by a lot of people who are successful. So way back in 2003, I was working for ICICI Bank in the regional office, and I used to sit down. I was just freshly hired. There was a whole team of it, freshly hired people. We were working for the best group in ICICI Bank called IBG. IBG was like the absolute pinnacle. Apart from one step lower than Treasury. So Treasury was the pinnacle, below that is IBG. And we were all hired for IBG, and I was sitting down and I was working with this guy right beside me. And then 2-3 months we had a conversation. We spent almost a year together. We used to go out for offsites. While we were going for offsites, he used to sit down and play guitar. He used to DJ. And he was damn good with it. So every offsite that we went for, he used to play a guitar. And he used to be a DJ. And I sat down, I always thought, this is 17 years, rather than 2003, 2004. I said, what is he doing? I mean, such talented people. I mean, that he's in ICICI Bank in IBG, which is like the Apex group. And he can play a guitar, and he can DJ, and he can really DJ very well. Was kya talent hai? You know, guess who that person is? All of you guys know this person. One way or the other. 10 years down the line, he quit his corporate world. He became a full-time singer and a music composer, and his name is Mohan Kannan. So Kannan Mohan, we used to call him Kannan Mohan. His name is Mohan Kannan. If you don't know who is he, Google him. Mohan Kannan is the guy who wrote the entire music piece for this new movie of Amir Khan, which failed. Lal Singh Chadha. So he is the composer for Lal Singh Chadha. So from my point of view, if he would have ended up becoming the CEO of ICICI Bank, from my point of view, complete waste. But guess where he is? He's doing what he loves. And that's according to the success. Are you guys getting this? Is this making some sense? Yeah, K. Mohan, Kannan Mohan, Kannan Mohan. I used to call him Kannan Mohan. So yeah, so that's what. So that is one part of success, and this problem generally ends up coming from this point where, and the biggest problem here is when we start having this conversation that it should be this way, it should be that way. The moment you have a word, the biggest problem and the biggest stressor in your life is always going to be the word should be. So now think of it. Should be. I should be taller. I should be richer. I should be more intelligent. Well, guess what it is. You're not. Okay? So rather than I should do this or I should do that, find out what you are doing in your life. Okay? The moment you have. Now, when I say should be means when you say I should be like this, I should have a car, and if it is really coming from you and it is genuine, then it still makes sense. But if it is being put on you, I'll give you an example. Like, most of the Indian, and all of us are Indian here. Most of the young men and women, by the time they turn 25, 26, Gar ki kahani hai, you must have heard. Where your parents say you should be married by 25, 26 or 27. Especially for women, or men also get to that. How many of you guys have experienced this in one way or the other? You should be married. You should settle down. Right? You should settle down. You should be married. You should be working 14 hours, 16 hours a day. Okay? It happens in every thing. And the moment you do that, the problem is what you should do in your life. Now, when what you should do in your life originates from you, when I say that I should be a lot thinner and fitter, then it's okay. But if somebody comes and tells you that, you know what, look, you need to be a lot more fitter and thinner, then there is a problem. Because I then have to be conforming to somebody else. This word, it should be done, is the real problem. What is what is, right? So always watch out for what should be done. Or by the time you're 35, oh, I'm 35, I should have so much money. Well, I guess, you don't have it. Now, coming from that point of view, one of the other major stresses that I should have kids, or you should have kids. Yeah, you guys are getting it, right? So now that I've given you a thought to think about, and you start applying this word, saying, I should have been this, or I should have been that. All of a sudden, you'll realize that you'll sit down and think of every aspect of your life where you should have, and that is a stressor. Just be, So should is a problem. What is what it is, right? And so having said that, when another stressor which you have in your life, and this is a major one, which again nobody talks about, is who you should be in your life, how you should dress, how you should live in your life. And that's the biggest stressor in our life. Okay. How you should live. And then the moment you have this conversation that how you should live in your life, suddenly what happens is you start faking it. You guys have felt this thing, like for example, if you see most of the time, you guys have seen, I am always in my shorts or t-shirt or shirt, or in my shoes, sometimes in my flip-flops. That's where it is, right? Most of the time. If I have to go to another event, then it's a different issue, but most of the time I'm like that, because that's the way it is, right? But if I tell myself that, look, I'm in the stock market, and I should be very, 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 very rich, and I should drive the most expensive car, and I should only wear suits. Like, you see a lot of people who are in the stock market who teach the stock market. You have a look at it. And the easiest way to find out people if they are fraud, the easiest way, I'm telling you, just notice it. People in India will wear a three-piece suit. Okay, just notice it around. So I can understand that if you wear a suit, which is okay, that's your style. You wear a nice shirt and wear a suit with a tie, I can understand. You wear a nice shirt and a jacket, I can understand. I have never understood why in India you would wear a three-piece suit. What's going on? Because India is a super hot country. I mean, wearing a jacket itself is a problem. Wearing a three-piece suit means there is something that you are trying to do. Okay? And especially if you go, and you must do this, Go to go to any of these MLM where people are meeting for MLM, multi-level marketing or network marketing. Nothing wrong about it, nothing right about it. I don't have an opinion today. But sit down and observe. There'll be a whole lot of people who'll be wearing a suit and coming. And out of those, there'll be some people who'll be wearing a three-piece suit. And believe me, I know a lot of rich people in life. I interact with a lot of rich people in life. And the richer you are, most of the time, people will be very casual because they do not have anybody or anything to show. So, point I was trying to make, I was just giving you an example. The point I was trying to make to you guys is very simple. Rather than the biggest stressor in our life is that internally we are somebody and we want to project being somebody else. In Instagram parlance, it's called as fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it, right? NFTs, crypto, Instagram, God knows what. Anywhere you want to attract somebody else and you want their money, this is where it happens, right? iPhone flashing in selfies, yeah, iPhone is a good quality. You can't really say no to that. There are people who like iPhones, there are people who don't. I don't. My son likes, one son likes, the second son doesn't. Good quality phones. Really, iPhone, to be very honest, from any standards, is not a symbol of money anyway. They're just 70,000, 80,000 bucks. 80,000 bucks is nothing. No, it's not a symbol. That's not a symbol for richness today. Yeah, it used to be, but it's a good tool. It works fine. It's very robust. But yeah, I get what you're saying. So there are people who use an iPhone because it's a fantastic phone. There are some people who use an iPhone as a status symbol, which I don't think is a status symbol anymore. There are bigger status symbols in life. Right? So the biggest stressor that you are ever going to have in your life is about who you are vis-a-vis who you projected. Now, here's the problem. I'll give you an example and I'll tell you why it always works against you the moment you start pretending. Okay? The moment you start pretending in your life, you will always fail in your life and you will always not get that success. For a simple reason, is that the moment you are A, but you pretend to be B, first of all, there's a lot of effort and energy required. You guys agree with this? So if you are A and you pretend to be B, there's a lot of effort and energy and time which is required for you to be B. And the moment you start behaving and acting like B, then you are going to attract people who get attracted to your persona of B. Meaning to say that, let's say that you are a fruit, any fruit. So the moment you are a fruit, then there will be certain types of people who will come down and, have a fruit. You make a juice out of that fruit, there'll be certain type of people who are attracted to drink that juice. You sit down and make ice cream, there'll be certain type of people who might come and get attracted to an ice cream. And then the final, you make rum out of it because you rot the fruit, it becomes rum. Then there'll be a certain type of people who are attracted to rum, right? Now, 4 different things coming from the same fruit will attract 4 different people. Maybe some of them, some people will be common like me. Like I would love to eat a fruit ice cream with rum put inside and fresh fruits, right? So I could do all. I could make an ice cream salad, put a little bit of fresh fruits and put rum into it and all. So there's a common area there. But if you are a fruit, a fresh fruit, and you are pretending to be rum, you will attract the wrong people in your life. Understand what I'm saying? You will start attracting the wrong people in your life if you pretend. So your pretentious personality will only attract the vibe of people who are vibing at that level. Okay? So who you are, you are then going to reject a lot of people who actually get attracted to you as your own self and will attract the wrong people. And that will never let you become successful in life. Is this making sense? Just sit down and think of it. Is this making sense or is it a little bit too high? So best, be yourself, vibe on the level that you vibe. The people who will vibe with you will stay with you. The people who don't vibe with you get pushed away. And if they get pushed away, thank God for it. Because you need to form your tribe. And you need to form your tribe and you need to move ahead in your life. So you cannot move ahead in your life where people who are with you are vibing in a wrong direction, because it's only going to take energy out of you. So that's what I want to talk about. Now, coming back to the point of 23, we are here in this to have this conversation because we want to be sitting down and talking about not having an accidental life, but or having a life which is a designer life, a life where we design it ourselves, right? So there are two ways of living your life. One is that you have an accidental life, saying, oops, I'm successful. Or you design the life, right? So there are two ways of doing it. Now, I can tell you from experience that, and let me remind this for you. We all have one singular life. And I want to ask you this question. What is it that you really want to do in your life? That one singular life that you have. What is it that you want? And that gets me to this conversation which I had with my son about a month back. And we were sitting down and going somewhere and he told me, Dad, why are you wearing this today? Wear it after some time, after 1 month. And I told him, no, I want to wear it today. He says, boss, wear it on a special occasion. So I told him, look, today is special. So he laughed at me and said, what is so special today? It's just an ordinary day. I said, you don't get it. Today is very, very special. Because today is a day which is never going to come back in my life again. Like the 8th January 2023 has never come in your life before or is never going to come in your life again. 8th January 2023, 10:55, this moment is never going to come in your life again, and that's how special is it. Let that sink in. 8th January 2023, 10:55 a.m. will never come in your life again. That's how special this time is. And this is what I want to impress upon you, that every second is very, 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 very precious. Very precious. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you accept it, the better your life will get. So if you say, some people come and tell me, saying, Chetan, you always put photographs on Facebook. I say because it documents. I can go back in 10 years and I can say, on this day I did this. well, I don't put everything on Facebook, but enough things that I enjoy. And most of the time, a lot of you guys would know that most of the time I am doing most of the things that I enjoy. Most of the time I am doing most of the things that I enjoy in my life. Which means if I enjoy working hard, then I do that also. The enjoy does not mean that I have to not work and do other things in life. No. If I love working, that itself is an enjoyment for me. I do it more. So celebrate every single moment. Because that moment is never going to come back. Ever. We have about 70 years of a life. And the way I see it, life is a string of memories. Okay? Life is a string of memories. There are some good memories, there are some bad memories, there are some very good memories. It is our job to make better memories, even better memories, the best memories, and just collect just the best memories in our life and keep them in our life. So then, we need to do things in our life where we only get fantastic memories. Let that sink in. We need to do things in our life. We need to have a designer life. We don't want a life by accident because we have been given only one life and one opportunity and one chance. And everything, literally everything that you ever want to do in your life has to be done in that one life. And we don't have time to waste. We don't have time to waste. So when somebody comes and says, no, अरे क्या कर रहा है? Time pass कर रहा है क्या? And I sit down and think, pass करने के लिए time ही नहीं है. So when people come and say that, this is good for time pass, I think, why should I pass my time? So valuable. That moment is never going to come. And I have only one life and I'm moving closer to death, one step at a time. And I have so much to do in my life and so many things which I want to experience and so much to achieve in my life. Where is the time to pass? So people come and tell me, I'm getting bored. No, honestly, I'm not joking to you. I haven't got bored for as much as I remember. For last 15 or 18 years of my life, I've never got bored. I just haven't got bored. I don't have time to get bored because there are so many things to do in your life. So the moment somebody says, "Chalna, time pass karne ka hai, let's pass our time, let's do this," or "I'm bored," stay away from those people. Because that is infectious. Not only will they get bored in their life, they will bore you also. And never waste time with people who bore you in your life. How many of you guys agree with this? Quickly raise your hands and type the word X 3 times, which is triple X. Don't stay around people who bore you. The reason why they bore you is they are not intellectually stimulating you. If they are not intellectually stimulating you, you are not growing. If you are not growing, you are regressing because time is passing you by. And we don't have time to pass in our life. Because time is so precious. So life is a string of memories. Either you have wasted time, or you have utilized time, or you have lived your time, or you've enjoyed your time, or you have experienced your time. There are only 5 buckets. Either you wasted your time, you utilized, lived, enjoyed, experienced, or all of it together, except wasting time. To find out, next time you are doing whatever you're doing in your life, ask this question: where are you? Are you wasting your time? Or are you utilizing your time? Or are you living and enjoying your time? So here's how it is, we grow in our life and we change in our life. When we are younger, nobody tells us that our time is so precious, so we waste it behind wrong people, doing wrong things in our life. In our youth, when you are younger, we have time, we have energy. Most of us don't have money. We have time, we have energy, most of us don't have money. When you get into the working mode, when you're 26, 30, you have responsibilities in your life. Then we have energy, we have money. We don't have time. By the time you're 55, 60, we have the money, we have time, we don't have the energy. So the whole idea is we need to have all three of them together at any given point of time. And that is true freedom. So you should have time, you should have energy, and you should have money. You have money, you can enjoy the time better. You have energy, you can enjoy the time better. There are some people who have screwed up health. They have the money, but they can't do anything about it. In fact, as I have realized, is the older I get in my life, I can eat less of what I used to love more. How many of you guys agree with this? As I've got older in my life, when I was younger, I used to always say, जिस दिन भी मेरे पास बहुत पैसा रहेगा ना, उस दिन पे मैं यही खाएगा और कुछ नहीं खाएगा. That's all I'm going to eat. दररोज पानी पूरी, दररोज सेव दही बटाटा पूरी, हर रोज आइसक्रीम, and the best quality daru. That is what I used to think. And then now I realize that the less I do of all these things that I love, the more I'm going to live, and then suddenly you realize that that's not all the things that you require to do in your life to be happy. So here's the important point which you also would want to remember. And this is how most of us live our life. In the age of 20, 22, 21, we have a dream. And then we work for 20, 25 years of our life to achieve that dream, to make that money, and then you buy that dream. So let's say at the age of 20, you say that, my dream was to buy a Jeep Cherokee. I want to buy a Jeep Cherokee or any Jeep that you want. At the age of 20, you put a poster on my wall saying, Jeep, this is my dream car. Or Lamborghini or whatever, but Jeep is much more sensible. And then we work hard for 20 years of our life, and then we buy the Jeep at the age of 40, 42. But what we don't realize is, so we create our own dreams in our life at the age of 20, and we take 20 years of our life to work hard, doing what we don't want in our life to achieve that dream at the age of 40. What we don't realize is, at the age of 20, we were very different people. And hence our dreams were different. At the age of 40, we are very different people. And what we require at the age of 40 is very different. And at the age of 60, we are going to be even more different people who have very different needs. Right? So I would like to tell you from experience that as you grow older in your life, be a little sensible, be a little sensitive to yourself, be a little wisdom oriented, saying that you are not the same person. I have seen a lot of women at the age of 45 dressing up as they are 25. No harm in that. If you look good, you look good. I'm not complaining. Women can wear whatever they want. Men enjoy it anyway, right? But why not try to look at 45 as 45 and wear what you want to at 45? You don't have to look at 25, right? So yesterday I again had this conversation where, three of us said, I don't know, this guy said, Arey, now we are getting called as uncle. I get damn shocked. So I was telling him, why are you shocked? I said, all my children's friends come home and they keep on going, uncle, 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 all the time. They're like, Tweety birds. They come to my house and they are all over my house. And they're like chirping birds. Uncle, 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 uncle. I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? So why do we have to pretend to be somebody else? How many of you guys can relate to this? What I'm basically trying to say to you is that we need to accept who we are, where we are at that point of time, rather than sitting down and trying to figure out what we should be otherwise. So at the age of 45, 50, you could be an uncle and you could be the sexiest uncle on earth, man. You could be the twin brother of The Rock. So just be yourself and do whatever you want. So having said that, and another point which I wanted to talk to you about is try something new in your life. If you feel we are where we are in our life, is because who we are in our life, one. We are where we are in our life is because who we are in our life, one. Two is a sum total of all the things that we have done so far, all the things that we know, all the things importantly that we don't know, all the things that we should have done but we didn't. All the knowledge that we have or we don't have. Today, where we are in our life is the sum total of all these things put together. And if you don't like where you are today, then this sum total needs to change. If you are not where you want to be in your life today, then that sum total needs to be changed. And the easiest way to change that sum total is to try something new. Because if you do the same thing over and over, again and again, if you do the same thing over and over and again, you're going to keep on getting the same results. And if you keep on getting the same results, then you're not moving ahead in life. And not moving ahead in life is called moving closer to death. So, my sincere request to you, and I tell this to my children also, try new things. You never know that you would accidentally like something. How many has it happened to some people that you try something new and then you say, oh, I like this here. I didn't know this. I didn't know that this was so good. Any of you guys like this? But if you try the same thing over and over, then you are remaining at the same level and having the same experiences, and the sum total is not changing. The moment you try something new all the time, you do something new all the time, all of a sudden that equation changes and then you move ahead in our life. So try something new all the time. Have newer conversations, meet newer people. I always do that. I always sit down and try to figure out, talk to people, get their perspectives. And you never know what you can end up learning. That being said, if you are not where you are in your life, you need to change that. So I want to ask you a question. What is it that you really want to be in your life? What is it that you want to be in your life? You have to be very clear. कि आपको जिंदगी में क्या बनना है? Not for anybody else, for your own self. And I want you to sit down and ask this question to yourself. What is it that you want to be in your life? So here's what you're going to do right now. You're going to take 1 minute off, and I want you to do this exercise right now with a piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, you are not ready. If you were not ready, you missed an opportunity. Opportunity went past by you. You didn't get the fruit of it. Too bad for you. Learn the lesson. So 1 minute I'm going to give you. What is it that you really want to be in your life? Sit down, write down as much as you can. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Let me remind you, what you want to be in your life is a much bigger and more intrinsic and deeper conversation than what is it that you want in your life. What is it that you want in your life is a very small piece of what is it that you want to be in your life. Because when you become someone, everything around you rearranges itself and changes. If you've written down, here's what we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a couple of more exercises. I want you to sit down and write down 5 things that you want in your life. I don't want to give you goals and targets and all that, all silly things. It's okay. Just simple conversation. Imagine you're sitting down with your friends. If you drink, you're drunk and you're sitting down already. What is it that you want? 5 things. 5 things. What is it that you want in your life? What is it that you want to do in your life? 5 things. You could sit down and write, I want to make more money. Good. Not the smartest and the greatest of goals in life, but well, there you are. If you say, I want to become more fitter, that makes more sense. If you say that I want to lose weight and become future focused on my health, fantastic. That's the right way. If you want to say that I want to sit down and upgrade my intelligence, get more wisdom in my life, fantastic. If you're going to tell yourself that I want to be aware, the world is aware. So write down what are those 5 things that you want in your life. You want, not what your wife wants from you, not what your parents want from you, not what your children want from you, not what your boss wants from you, not what your neighbor is putting pressure on you to be wanting from you. You know, the funny part is your wife coming and telling me, "Arey, मेरी बहन के पति ने बड़ी गाड़ी ली. आप कब लोगे?" That's useless. Get rid of that woman. If anybody who does not allow you to be yourself is not worth it. Anybody who does not allow you to be yourself is not worth it. Write down those 5 things. The funny part is we all come with an expiration date. Everything in life has an expiration date. Everything in life has got expiration date. What is those 5 things that you would want to do if you had an expiration date of 1 year? Write that down. What is it that you would want to do if you had an expiration date of 1 year? Once you finish that, quickly write down what is it that you would want to do if you had an expiration date of 3 months, which means tomorrow. Hard hitting, I'm sorry. But here, we are not here to have easy conversations. We are to have difficult conversations. Difficult conversations lead to an easy life. Easy conversations lead to a difficult life. Let me say this again. Difficult conversations lead to an easy life. Easy conversations lead to a difficult life. We are here to have difficult conversations today because nobody is going to have them with you. Nobody cares about your life except for their own self. Here we are sitting down and having a conversation. What is it that you would want to do if you had only 3 months? That's it. Which means pretty much every priority gets reshuffled in life. And suddenly you'll realize what is important to you in your life and what is not important to you in your life. Making sense? Any of you guys got this? If you've got this, type the word number 1, and I know that you've got this. Type number 1, and I know you got it. If you had only 3 months in your life, what is it that you would want to do? And suddenly you'll realize what is important to you in your life, what is not important to you in your life. So you may not want to do that in the next 3 months, but at least now you have a perspective and a contrast. You have a perspective and you have a contrast that what is important in your life and what is not important in your life. Now, in the next 1 year, on a very realistic basis, in the next 1 year, what are the 3 things that you want to do? Write down. You can write down in your book, you can write down wherever. In the next 1 year, what are those 3 things that you want to do? What are those 3 things that you want to do? If you have been able to write down those 3 things, type the word 3 so that I know that most of you guys have finished this exercise. Rest of you guys, most of the people are done. Rest of you guys. Now here's the trick. The trick is, of all the 3 people that you have written, things that you have written, focus on the first 2. Drop the third. And that is what you want to do in your life. Focus on the first 2. Focus on the first 2. Drop the third. Which basically means all your effort, time, energy has to be spent on those 2 things. You do those, you'll get them. Also, write down the things that you don't want to do in your life. You have to be very clear. If you know what you have to do in your life, you also have to be very clear what you don't want to do. You also have to be very clear who are the people whom you don't want to be around in your life. You have to be very clear who are the people whom you don't want to be around in your life. And you also have to be very clear who are the people who you want to be in your life. Be clear. Clarity is a superpower which most people don't get. The more clear you are in your life, the more clear thought process you have in your life, the more clarity that you have in your life, most people don't have it. The people who have it end up becoming super successful. People who don't have it keep on trying to figure out where they are going. So clarity of thought and clarity of direction is the number 1 priority which supersedes everything in your life. Write down what is that you want to do in your life, what is that you don't want to do in your life. Write down what is that you like doing in your life. Write down what is that you are doing in your life today as a compromise, as a trade-off. Because every time, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता जिंदगी में कि I will only do what I want in my life and I will not do what I don't want in my life. Okay? ऐसा नहीं होता है. Sometimes you have to do things which you don't like in your life because it's a trade-off. Maybe that situation is temporary. Maybe for a temporary situation, you need to do those things. So maybe a couple of years you will do those things because you are getting some sort of traction. So write down those things, which is a trade-off that you're doing. Like for example, I don't like going out and working out too much. I do actually, but not so much. But I enjoy eating more, So then I can't say I'm only going to eat because I enjoy it. I'm going to say it's a trade-off for me. I love eating. I don't want to put on weight. So I'm going to go ahead and work out even more so that I can eat more. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to reduce my eating and work out more. No, I want to work out more so that I can eat more. That trade-off has to be clear. Like there are some people say I will become fully healthy. अरे क्यों करने का है सब यार? Such good food you get in your life. Unfortunately, all the good food in your life makes you put on weight. You guys getting this? Clear होना चाहिए जिंदगी में. Work out the entire week so that you can go out drinking on a weekend with your friends. Don't say I will not drink. I mean, I'm talking about me, not you. I'm not projecting to you that you guys should drink, but I'm just telling myself. So I said, yeah. Since I want to go out drinking with my friends, I'm going to work out instead of 1.5 hours, I'll work out for 2.5 hours. Trade-off. But write this down. What we do is we'll say, oh, I am supposed to be this way, so I will stop drinking. For next 1 year, I will not drink. And it never happens, correct? But once you are very clear about life, or you say, listen, I'm going to work, study very hard and I'm going to trade very hard and I'm making so much amount of money so I can buy the car. Okay, that's a trade-off. So write this down. So what is it that the people, write down specific names of people, so don't write negative people. Because the people who are negative in your books, they might be thinking about you that you are also negative. Like I might think that, some guy, Rahul is negative. But Rahul must be thinking Chetan is negative. So this negative is very, very personalized, right? So there is nothing called negative person. So write down, okay, this guy is not getting the best out of me. I don't feel great in life in front of this person. I don't want him. Out. He might be a great person for everybody else, but not for me. You understand? So this negative people, aisa kuch nahi hai. Oh, negative is to you. There would be two brothers and one person could be very positive to one brother, negative to the second person, right? You're getting what I'm saying? So figure this out. So write down, what is it that you want to do in your life? What is it that you don't want to do in your life? What is it? Who are the people you want to hang around with? Who are the people you want to associate more with? Who are the people you want to get rid of? What are the things that you enjoy doing in your life? Write down that. What are the things that you absolutely hate doing in your life? What are the things that you enjoy doing in your life? What are the things that you absolutely hate in your life? And what are the things that you do in your life which is a compromise? And the last question, ask yourself, what is it that you want to do with this amazing life that God has given you as an opportunity? What is it that you want to do with this amazing life that God has given you as an opportunity? Because it is. And with this, I have said to you what I wanted to say to you. I have thrown some questions to you which will keep you awake at night, which will keep you awake during the day, which will make you alive. And over a period of days, I can assure you, this information will rearrange itself and you will find all the answers that you want in your life. Having said that, this is where I'm going to stop. Thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for being here. I hope I have been able to offer you the value add for the time that you have given me. I hope you've got some value out of it. And we will see you soon. There are a couple of questions that somebody had asked me. Somebody had asked me that are we going to come up with programs? So there are 2 programs in offering this year. One of them is a major one and a big one, and which I'm working a little bit more on it. It's called as Mamba. Okay, so it would be forex trading strategies. So for all the people who want to trade with less amount of money, have more trades, faster trades, quicker trades, make more money, and have very specific bulletproof strategy, that's going to come. So you just have to wait some more time. Unless and until I am very clear about it and it is a bulletproof strategy, I'm not going to roll out. But that is coming in. That is something which almost everybody should be having. In fact, this is one thing which I told my son 2 years back. I said, you should learn Forex, because the moment you learn Forex, you could be sitting down in South of America, trading for 4 hours a day, and never come back to India, and you'll always make money. One of the biggest skills that you are ever going to have is learn how to trade forex. So we are working on that. So that's one part. Then there is something else very interesting which is coming. It's called coffee. So if you want, write it down. There's a course which we call as coffee. You guys will love it. Absolutely love it. So we are going to launch it, I think, probably this week or next week. We'll see. There are these two courses which are coming in. Apart from that, we'll start with our physical sessions in the month of Feb. So how many of you guys interested in attending physical sessions? And I'm super geared up to be sitting down and talking with all this. That's one part. And that's one part. Second, we are also going to do some outbound programs. So we are looking at, as a team, because we are a team, there are a whole lot of us who interact with each other on a daily basis, right? There are so many of us who are interacting with each other on a daily basis. Like just every day, there are people who have been interacting with me, maybe not on the phone or whatever, but maybe through Facebook or whatever, for the last 8 years, 9 years, you know. So I want to build up that team a little bit more so that we enjoy more and we go out more, do a little bit of adventure. So we're going to get into a little bit of adventure sports. I'm finding out the right forum for it. So that's one thing. So if you guys like tenting, camping, pushing yourself over the edge, we are going to have those things. So a couple of things coming in play. Meanwhile, there are a whole lot of programs already there. If you guys are not a part of FIRE, if you're a guy who is not a part of Alters, please be there. Alters and FIRE is something which will really help you. There are a whole lot of things. There is SAM, there is TIP, there is Ninja, there is Futures Masters. I'll be making some TIP sessions in the next couple of weeks. So that is going to be there. So there are a whole lot of things. If you don't know already, there is a website by the name of thestockbarber.com. You go and have a look at it. There's a whole lot of things going on that. So everything and almost everything and anything which you require. So if you guys can see the screen, there are products, there are a whole lot of products. If you want, there are programs, a whole lot of programs if you want. So the last one, Member Fast, is going to be coming up. 1-to-1, we started next week. I'm having a 1-to-1 for someone who's flew in from US. So we booked his session 6 months in advance. He's come down from the US, do a 1-to-1 X-ray. That is there. Fundu is there. There's a whole lot of things. Go and sit down and find out. I mean, it depends on how curious you are and what level of conversation that you want to be in life, or how much upgrade yourself. The more you upgrade, the more money you make. That's simple as that. So figure it out. Go have a look at this website. It took me quite some time to sit down and make it. I'm going to add some more things here. So have a look at it. See what works. And that's all I can say. I said, and this is where I can say that thank you guys again, one more time. Thank you for everything. And a whole lot of things which will happen. All right. So thank you and I'm going to see you again during the week. Bye.